Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Canada Hoops. It's your boy Maddie. Thank you for your continued support. Please keep downloading and sharing us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Instagram and X.com. Our guest today represents Pickering, Ontario. She is a former St. Mary Monarch, played at Durham Prep. She is a big time legend in Drexel for the Dragons. And of course, she has also represented for Canada basketball. She is Keishana Washington. Keishana, appreciate you joining us on Canada Hoops.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we locked it down. We finally got a time to sit down and chat about your journey and your career. Excited for that. Thank you so much. How are things? Let our listeners and the Canada basketball community know how you're doing. Just kind of where you're at right now.
Things are going well. I am back in Toronto. I spent a good amount of the summer back in Philly, helping out with the Drexel team, working some camps, doing things like that. But now I'm home, spending some time with my family and friends until I go back overseas.
What I did see that you were in Philly for quite a bit, and we chatted about that in messaging. But to be able to go back to Drexel and do that, just and we'll get into your time at Drexel is truly legendary and special. Like what's that like for you to just be able to give back and show love to the program and the community there? At this point, in your journey.
For me, I built 5 years of my life there, my adult life.
Yeah,
Um, so I have relationships that are, maybe even beyond basketball, former teammates, my former coaching staff. So just being able to go back, kind of where my legacy is and give back to the program that has given so much to me. If it's working with the players or helping the coaching staff, whatever they need, I'm just happy to be back and help out in whatever way possible.
yeah, that's great. I know like the program and the community really shows a lot of love to you there. Anything that you look up when it comes to your time in Drexel is really cool, and it's great to see that they appreciate what you've done there. And I know you're getting ready to go overseas again for another year of pro training. Like what's that looking like for you right now? Maybe what's a goal for this upcoming season?
Training wise, so I also was back in Philly training.
Right,
Everything is easily accessible there.
right.
Since I've been back, I've taken about a week off and then get back into it, finding times in the gym, working out with one of my uncles, um,
Yeah.
5 days a week in the weight room, 5 days a week. Just getting back into the flow, staying ready for whenever opportunity comes my way.
Nice. I love it. I just want to get into the start of your journey, just kind of how the game started to come into the picture for you, and why you love basketball so much, and just take us back to a young you growing up in Pickering and starting to really love the game.
Yeah, I first started playing soccer.
Okay.
Um, played for a few. I played basketball at the same time as playing soccer, but majority of my family played soccer and they ran track. So kind of just did that based on my family doing it. But my
Yeah.
dad also played in a basketball league just for fun, recreation. So I would go with him to the gym and I would just like kind of shoot around, watch them play. And I enjoyed that a lot more than I did playing soccer. Um,
Right.
so I think that's kind of where it started. Uh, and then from there, just I think my dad recognized the talent pretty early. So started working. He would take me to the gym with him all the time. We'd start doing workouts. And then from there, it just kind of progressed. I quit soccer. It wasn't for me. And I just focused all my time on basketball.
What when you start to really like hone in on basketball and make that the focus, what who did you model after? Whose game did you really like? Was there a player that you looked up to that's like, yeah, I really like their game? Because we all um, kind of have that player we really admire when we're younger, especially, right?
Yeah, I loved watching Allen Iverson.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
my favorite player to watch. Um, Undersized, uh, tough,
Yeah.
speedy, crafty, alpha mentality. I just
Yeah.
kind of I just love watching him. Yeah.
That's I see a lot of that in your game. Like you have a tough game, hard nose, take it at anybody, anybody that doesn't know your game. Like that's a spot on comparison. I love like I'm a bit of an old head, but that draft class from '96 was legendary with AI and Steve
Yeah,
Nash and all the legends. Like to me, that's
yeah.
like and
Big
Kobe,
time draft. Yeah.
great class. Yeah. You know when you're going through high school, you know, you're at St. Mary and then looking to um, make the jump to Durham. Just take me through that because that's, you know, clearly for a lot of players, maybe an opportunity to elevate their game and better competition. Just talk about that and that transition and maybe why you felt the need for it and just how it came about.
Yeah, so when I went to St. Mary's, I was still playing for Scarborough Blues, um, like throughout the year,
Yeah.
AU and all that. But then as I was looking at my career and figuring out, like, yeah, like I kind of want to do this at the next level as far as playing in college. And then OSBA was coming to the forefront of sports at the time.
Yeah.
Um, it was kind of like, is this going to benefit my career? Um, is this going to help me to get seen by colleges? Like, so that was kind of the thought process between myself and my family. Um, and then Krista Anyojukin was coaching the Durham prep team, who I played for Team Ontario.
Right.
Um, so it was like, I have a connection with the coach already. Let's make this jump to enhance my career really. So it was a pretty easy decision.
What's you know, the better in OSBA, like, you know, I'm not from Ontario, but I know, you know, kind of what it's about and the impact and the opportunities that maybe come out of that and the prep teams. You know, what was it about it? Like just more games, like just a really constant schedule with it, and obviously training and then you know, Krista's an excellent coach. You know, she coached Global Jam, I believe, too, right? So I mean, she's high level. Just what is it about it that because that's a common thing for a lot of players. Is like obviously it just elevates it. What is it about it that just, you know, makes people bring their game? I guess.
I think it's the intensity of the training,
Okay.
the frequency of it, and it's just like basketball focus. And when I look back now at doing that, it mimicked what you would see in college. Like, you would
Right.
go to study hall, then you would go to practice, then you would go to weights, then you would go to class, then you would, so it kind of shadowed what I eventually saw in college, which made the transition so much easier for me. Um, but like it was just basketball. Like, of course you have school and you have your 2, 3 classes a day, but your focus is on preparing for the next level. So I think it definitely helped me in that sense.
And then what about like you mentioned, Team Ontario? I know you're a BioSteel All Canadian. You know, those are opportunities where, like obviously with Team Ontario representing your province. I just think of like the Canada Summer Games are going on right now. Just got started for those athletes, um, and those are situations. Say with Team Ontario and the BioSteel Games, like to kind of see how you measure up with everyone across the country. Just talk about that because I think that's important. Just where everyone can kind of get a sense of other players across the country. You know, the game is really exploding in every province, and BC and Alberta are putting out really good players, and obviously Ontario and Quebec always have. But just talk about those experiences and what that was like for you, just to kind of see where you measure up with your game.
Yeah, I think anytime you have a chance to play against other people from different areas, like,
Yeah,
you learn a little bit about yourself and you learn a little bit about how basketball operates in a different place. Um, you learn new things from different coaches that are from different areas, different players that are from different areas. And then you get to kind of expand your network. You get to meet new people, new friends. I have friends that are from all over the country. Um,
yeah.
so I think it's just an opportunity in that sense to just learn and grow. And then, like you said, you're playing against different levels of competition. So you get to see how you measure up against everybody in the country, not just in your age group, but players that are older than you, maybe players that are younger than you. So I think it's an opportunity to go and compete.
Yeah, I like that. And I know, like, um, you weren't just there as kind of like a member of the team. Like you led the teams. The notes here, you won national championships with Team Ontario in 15 and 16. You're a captain for the team in 17. Big time accolades. So, that's a highlight. You're leading the team and representing big time. Let's talk about that next level. Trying to play D1 and scholarships. Just take me through. Wrapping up the high school years and um, what you were starting to get for offers, what schools you considered before you decided
Yeah,
to become a legendary Dragon.
yeah. So my recruiting process started ninth, 10th grade around
Okay.
then. Um, and I had offers from a wide variety of schools. I had high majors, low majors. I had Power Five. It was very wide.
Yeah.
I think ultimately the things that I was looking for was connection with the coaching staff, proximity to home.
Right.
Does this team or program have a winning culture, and do they develop? So I think for me, Drexel checked all of those boxes. Um, I had offers from Delaware, Toledo, Arizona, Ohio
Okay.
State. Like
Nice.
this is what I mean. I say it's like a wide range. Like I had high schools, lower schools, mid major. But ultimately, for me, it wasn't about necessarily picking the highest school I could have went to. It was about picking the best school for me. And I think looking back at my career, I can say that I did that. Um, Even staying for my fifth year when I could have entered the transfer portal,
Right.
um, I chose to stay and keep building with the program that invested a lot in me. So definitely happy with my decision. Um, Very successful career, and yeah,
No, I mean, before we kind of touch on some other times in Drexel there, um, because you committed and stayed and grinded out with one like program for your whole career, I want to ask you about that in terms of the approach and the mindset. Because now with the portal, the landscape is so different. And when I think about, and I'm kind of just talking about like Canadian women and men in particular, because that's like kind of who we track. But we're already seeing so many players like high recruits go to like Power Fives and then play 1 year and transfer out from different situations. What are some of your thoughts on just the portal now and NIL and you know there's that avenue where players are doing that, and then there's the avenue and the road that a player like yourself did and stuck with and dedicated their time to a program, and the program stuck with you too. Maybe just if you have a couple thoughts on just kind of what that landscape is like right now.
yeah. It's if I had a word to describe it, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Um, it's good for the game that athletes are being paid for, what they're giving to the schools.
yeah,
But I also think it's become really toxic, especially with people being able to transfer year after year after year.
yeah,
Um, for me and how I grew up, it's like, you made a commitment to be at this place, you got to stick through it. It's not going to be rainbows and butterflies the whole way through. You're going to have some hurdles that you have to kind of figure out. And I think those hurdles is what builds resilience.
yeah,
Um, but, of course, there are situations where, you know, players do actually need to transfer because the situation is just so toxic and they really need to get out of there.
yeah,
But if it's a situation of, oh, I'm not playing my freshman year, I got to leave, or coach is picking on me in practice, I got to leave, she's calling me out for my mistakes, like I got to go. Like, I feel like those are situations where players have to stick it out and realize like the
mm,
grass isn't greener. And that's why you see players that transfer 2, 3 times, 4 times, because they're not happy with their situation, but they're also not willing to push through those hurdles. Um, so I think in the sense of getting paid, like it's great. Um, in the sense of building resilience, I don't know if it's so great. Uh, but I think there will be at some point some parameters as to how this could all operate in a more effective way that's conducive to the athletes also.
yeah. Well said. Because I think like on the program side, I wonder like I look at it, I'm like, how does a program, you know, try to operate year to year? Like some schools, it won't matter, right? If they're like a huge Power Five, they're gonna always get the best recruits or whatever, right? In terms of, top 100 players, but it must be like just, you know, um, super frustrating for them to try to put together a team every year when people are going to leave, and um, the program's trying to do everything they can, and a player's going to leave no matter what. And like you said, there's some situations where a player needs to go, and I can understand that. But then you have a lot of examples of players like yourself who have, you know, understood that, there's commitment and sacrifice and perseverance, and it really does pay off, right? You came out on the end of your time at Drexel, just amazing career there, right? And would that have unfolded had you decided to go somewhere else, right? So,
And that's something that we'll never know. But regardless, I'm
right,
happy with my decision. But I also think mid-major schools they're really getting screwed over with the transfer
yeah,
portal, because a kid's going to stay for 3 years, 4 years. They're going to develop, and then a Power Five is going to come and say, "We want this kid," because now
yeah,
they've played, they have experience, and then it also screws over high school kids who are trying to come in, but like you can just go get transfers. Like, why do you need to recruit high school kids if you can just go get a transfer?
right,
So it's tough. And then I also think it's hard for legacy. Like for me, like now I have a home where I can go back to. I can go back to Philly whenever I want, and I'm welcome with open arms. But people that transfer multiple times, like where is your home base? Like
yeah.
you go back to, where do you call home? Away from home. So I think that's something that was important to me.
No, I love it. Great insight. Like that's, um, you know, inside knowledge right there, and appreciate that. Okay, Drexel, all-time leading scorer for the Dragons. I think this still stands. All-time leading scorer in the NCAA for Canadian women. I
Yeah,
think you're
second
still.
all time for Canadians, second in Drexel history.
Oh, okay. So somebody passed you at Drexel.
Well, no, it was the player before. I just never surpassed her.
Oh, okay, okay. I was trying to sort out the notes there. Yeah. So I mean, like when you look at, I was reading stuff on Drexel, and just, the program was just talking about, the growth and what you bring to the table. And we've touched on a lot of stuff already. You just grew and developed your game year after year. What, maybe if you got something that really stands out for you on and off the floor there, just key memories, and something that'll just kind of stick with you forever about being a Dragon.
I think just the relationships I formed, really, with my teammates, um, my coaching staff, um, the hours that they poured into me. I
Right.
spent my first 2 years under Denise Dillon. She's the head coach of Villanova now. And
Okay.
then my last 3 years under Amy Mallon, who's still the current head coach. Um, so just the hours that they poured into me to give me confidence, to help me develop, to help me grow. Um, and then my teammates. I mean, we have some unforgettable memories. Um, we've won a lot of games. We've lost some big ones, but I think the most important things is like the memories that we made off the floor, that will really stick with me throughout my life. I have teammates that are now getting married. Their
Yeah.
weddings are next summer, so it's like those things are like important when I like think about it in hindsight. Like the basketball stuff is great, but the relationships are even better.
Um, One more thing with Drexel. Well, two things I got kind of in my mind, but um, the jersey, the numbers retired there, and that happened really quickly after the career stopped at Drexel, and which is unique in itself. Just talk about that moment and knowing that the name and numbers up there forever, and what that means to you and your family.
Yeah, I remember my head coach, Amy Mallon, and then my associate head, Stacy Weiss. They said, one day your jersey's going to be retired. I said, really? They said, yeah. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And then like to see it like really happen, and to happen, a year post college was like, wow, like that's amazing. And I don't think I
Yeah.
really like processed it until like a few months later when I came back to Drexel, and then I look up and I'm working out with the team and I'm like, wow, like my jersey's up there. And then like the players are like talking to me and they're asking me questions and I'm like it's just incredible. Not just to have my jersey up there, but to know that I had an impact on so many people at the school is probably my most proud moment.
Yeah. Like it's, um, it's special for a player, right? Wherever that happens, whether it's, high school, college, pro, like, and I just thought it was super cool that it was really quick, right? Like it's clear the program just really appreciated everything that you put into the program. And so I thought that was, because sometimes it has to happen years after, right? But they recognized the impact and um, didn't want to delay it by any means. Okay, the number one scorer in NCAA for Canadian women. Um, ahead of some great names like that. I've had great NCAA careers, great pro careers, great career for Canada basketball. Like some of the names that like you've been around some of these players and these women at camp, especially in Canada basketball. Like, is that something that people know? Like, would you guys kind of chop it up? Like, you kind of hold it over them? Like, yeah, I'm number one. Like, I don't know if it gets discussed. I'm just curious what that might be like.
No, it's not something that we've discussed at all.
Okay.
Not even something that I really think about, to be honest with you.
Right.
I've never been one to focus on stats.
Right.
Uh, I like to win. It's more important to
Yeah.
me. Um,
Nice.
but if you have stats and you win, take both.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not something that I really talk about. It really wasn't even something I knew until like our Drexel like media guy. He did like some deep diving, and he was like, "Wow, like this is a pretty cool stat. Like, let's
Yeah.
put this out." Um, so like it is pretty cool. But like I said, it's a testament to the people I was around at Drexel. I worked out primarily with my associate head and Stacy Weiss. So a lot of credit to her also for just the developmental piece and really making sure like I knew I was prepared every single game to go out and do what I had to do. Um, Phenomenal at scouting. Um, so just making sure I was prepared and my head coach Amy Mallon just pushing the confidence piece like you can do anything you put your mind to. Like there's nobody stopping you except for you. So that's something I really appreciate and take into my pro career now. But as for the stat itself, like it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, like I don't know. I mean, maybe one day it gets broken. Like it took a while on the men's side. Zach Edey passed Juan Mendez, who's kind of an old head there and played in the national team. But it's going to take. It needs to be a player that's played 4 or 5 years at the same, likely the same school, same system, and um, there was great women that you leaped ahead to be number one. And I mean, there might be a player that comes behind you as well. We've had some tremendous players at that level. So out of Canada. So we'll have to see. It might be a while. It might never happen. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay, take me to the start of the pro journey and just. I know you went to camp with the Lynx and the W. I'd love to hear about that. And just that experience. What was that like? Just to kind of see where your game measured up. But yeah, just talk about you know deciding to turn pro, what options you had, and just how you started to navigate that part.
Yeah. Training camp with the Lynx, phenomenal experience. Um, I definitely don't take it for granted, especially because of the level of difficulty it takes to get to that level.
Yeah,
Um, so just learning from the best of the best and Nafisa Collier, who's up for MVP,
yeah,
their coaching staff, like it was really just a learning opportunity, a chance to grow, um, and take what I've learned into my now overseas career. I played my first year in Poland. Um, I would say overseas is a very different lifestyle.
yeah,
Um, Different is good, of course. You learn a lot of new things about yourself when you're overseas, and
yeah,
you're a little more isolated than you would be. But I think being away for college prepared me better to go overseas. I'm also a very introverted person, so I
Okay.
think the ability to adapt was slightly easier for me because I don't do much anyways. Um, but I was there. I loved it there. The town was great. The people were awesome. The food was great. My teammates were great. Um, uh, just overall good first year experience. And then this past season, I was in France.
Right.
Completely different than Poland, um, but still both good experiences. I played in the French league, very, very athletic, uh, versus the Polish league, which I would argue is a bit more IQ based,
Okay.
as opposed to France being like just everybody's athletic, everybody's strong. It's way more physical.
Yeah.
Um, so both very different experiences, but I learned a lot and I gained a lot through both experiences. And then now I'm just waiting for my next contract, seeing where it takes me next. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty open to being anywhere as long as it's competitive.
What like in France, because there's been a lot of Canadian women that have played there, and um, they speak pretty highly of it. They've obviously enjoyed it and had great careers there. Like, is that something that's put out there? The teams and the coaching staff always know and appreciate the Canadians in terms of their game and what they can bring. Like, do you speak French too? Like, does that help you? I don't know if you speak French on and off the like for the floor stuff.
I could understand it
Yeah,
better than I could speak it. My teammates were trying to help me out though, but
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
could. They would only speak to me in French until I like could figure out what they were saying. So
Okay,
it was I figured it out over time.
okay, I got you. Yeah, do they? Is that um something that's well known in terms of the Canadians? Like they always there seems to be a lot of Canadians that kind of go to France and play there.
Yeah, I mean, from talking to my teammates, they're like, "Oh, like, do you know like Kim Gaucher?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
yeah," like
yeah,
so they're pretty familiar with the Canadians that have come through France. Yeah, I'd say.
yeah. Kim's kind of a big legend over there and big time career, right? And she played a ton there. Okay, here on Canada Hoops, we love to talk about Canada basketball, and especially with players that have played for the program, like you have done. What is playing for Canada and wearing the red and white meant for you and your family so far in your career?
I mean, you're representing your entire country. You have an entire country that's behind you, backing you, supporting you, um, as you represent on national world stages. So
Yeah.
I think there is really no greater pride than being able to wear your country across your chest in whatever capacity that is.
What like I'll ask a guest. Obviously, Canada's on the front, but the family name Washington's on the back. Like, and that really speaks to commitment and sacrifice for you and your entire family to have that happen. What have those conversations been like with your family, just in terms of wow, this is such a high level. It's taken everyone to do this. Like, what are those conversations like for you and your family?
I think it's just approaching everything with gratitude.
Nice.
Not everybody gets the opportunity to represent Canada, to be at training camps, to be in rooms with legends. So I think it's just being grateful for every opportunity that you have, um, but also knowing like I am representing my family. So the way I
Yeah.
conduct and carry myself is to represent them as well, and doing that with pride also because I love my family. I love the values that I've been instilled with. Um, so of course I want to take those in whatever avenue I go. I want to make sure I have those values and I never lose sight of that because that is ultimately the most important thing.
No, I love it. I know, like, that's pretty similar to a lot of players. Like, when it talks about when we talk about the family stuff, and it's like, it's a lot of hard work and paying off and being able to represent the family is important too, because a player always has a huge support system, and it's special to be able to do that for their families and represent the country at the same time. I want to ask you about Global Jam in 2023. Global Jam's obviously coming up this week in Toronto for this year's edition of it. Make sure you get your tickets and support the program, support the players. But you had a monster game in the final against the U.S., 25 points, just absolutely cooking. And I know that was like the first time you had played at home in like 5 years. Just, that was a big deal for you, and it always is for a lot of players. And that's a great thing that the program started to do to kind of have this event. Players can be at home. Just talk about that team and that tournament and that final game. What did you have for breakfast that morning to come out there? And you know what I mean? Like you were electric. The U.S. That was Louisville that year, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, right down to the wire, but you kept the team in. Just talk about that tournament, maybe that game.
Yeah, the tournament as a whole, I think it was great.
Yeah.
Great for us to be on home soil. Great for the city. Great for the country. Um, I just think they put in a lot of time and effort into sponsorships and making
Yeah.
it fun. We had the players lounge, we had, the guys were at the barbershop, the girls were at the hair salon. Like it was just an overall like good experience. Um, the final game, um, I couldn't even tell you what I had for breakfast. I have no, um, but like I said, for me, I'm motivated to win. So
Yeah.
I will do whatever it takes to do that. We didn't win, but you can't win them all.
Right.
But I think the conversations were like, Krista came to me and she said, "What are you waiting for?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "You have the ability to dominate, and you're just being kind of passive." And I said, "Got it. You're right,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah." Um, and so from there, it was kind of like flip the switch, like, okay, like let's play. So yeah, I couldn't even tell you. For me, like when I'm in the zone, it's like I have no idea what's going on outside of this court. Same with my, big time games at Drexel. Like I have people are like, "What were you thinking?" Like I wasn't thinking anything. I have no idea. I wasn't thinking anything. I was thinking about winning. Um, so yeah, I think the game itself was just like, do what you do, but it was also just fun. Like it was just a fun game to be in. It was a fun environment. It was fun being out there with my teammates. It was fun hearing the people in the crowds cheering. It was fun talking to the kids after that are like so
Yeah.
inspired and just want to be like you. Um, and for me, I think that's the best part of the game. Like good game or bad game, like there's still gonna be some little girl that's in the stands that's like looking up to you no matter what. So I think that's the greatest part about being able to do what I do, and no matter what stage it's on, it's like there's somebody that's looking up to you.
Yeah. Well said. I know. It's been an evolving tournament. Michael Bartlett, the CEO, is a friend of ours, and he's talked about the importance of it and why they want to try to continue to do it, and the necessity, especially at that age group like U23, because some players will kind of get lost out of like junior national to senior. So yeah, and you balled out. Like it was a great game on your part. Yeah, like you said, you can't win them all, but I just thought it was cool to see that moment for you, and just obviously kind of highlighted just what you had done at Drexel too. Like it was big time, big time game. I wanted to ask about you were at camp this spring, early summer with the senior women's team. Obviously, the team has a new head coach in Nell Fortner, and then they got the bronze result, the AmeriCup. And I know you've um, had experience playing under Victor prior to that too. Um, so I just want to ask about Nell, maybe what she's like as a coach as she starts to lead the program, the senior women's national team, and just kind of your takeaway just from her and in her new spot there.
Yeah, I mean, she is intense. She
Okay.
set the standard right from the jump. Um, she knows exactly how she wants things run.
Yeah.
Um, and, the goal is to ultimately chase gold. Um, so I think every day at practice, we were training at a gold medal standard.
Yeah.
We didn't let things, slide. So I think it was a good training camp. It was a good experience. She's from the South, so it took a little getting used to, especially the accent. But
Yeah.
she definitely brought something different to the table.
What's like from someone that obviously follows the program and the team, um, I see it, and the conversation. This conversation is like what others have too right now, but there's an opportunity here for the senior women's national team to kind of maybe um, really have a new look and an identity, especially coming out of the Olympics last summer. And there's a new head coach, and I think the talent pool is super deep, where you're going to see an opportunity for players to really make an impact in the next, I'll say 3 years if we talk about the LA Olympics, right, and then the World Cup for the women are next summer. Um, what I'm not sure if you've had thoughts about it or conversation with other players, but we could see like a changing of the guard in a sense in terms of what the senior women's national team looks like. Like, is that something you think about? Because it's going to be a competitive group and roster to fill out. We've already kind of seen that with coming out of parents and this AmeriCup tournament. Some people weren't available because of injuries. You know, the guard position is super deep. Just I don't know if you have any thoughts on just because I'm sure like the senior women's national team and the Olympics and the World Cup next summer is a goal for you. So I'm curious if there's thoughts about just the program and the team and the situation it's at in right now.
Um, yeah, I mean, like you said, the talent pool is deep.
Yeah,
It's very deep. You can only have 12 people on a team.
yeah,
And I think that it's really going to depend on what exactly the team is looking for.
right.
Because there are players that bring so many different assets that like everybody there is talented. Everybody there brings something different. It really just depends on what it is that, Canada basketball sees, what their vision is really. Um, that I'm unsure of.
Right.
All I can do on my part is keep working, keep getting better, keep developing, and wait for the opportunity. But because the talent pool is so big, there are opportunities in so many spots. There's opportunities in 5-on-5. There's opportunities in 3-on-3.
Yeah.
So really, like just keeping the door open to, whatever it is that comes about.
No, well said. I know, like when I think about the team last summer and where it was at prior to Paris, like I was in Victoria for um, the first exhibition game against Portugal there, and just kind of seeing the players that were there. Um, Many of them had come on the pod, right? So knowing them, knowing their game, and then um, just kind of where Victor and his staff decided to go with some players. There was some players that didn't make the team. I was a little surprised at, but nonetheless, the program's going in a new direction, new coach. Steve's a new GM. So I'm excited. I think the senior women's national team can be really cool, and I think there's going to be some players that get an opportunity to really show what they can do. And like the pool is super deep, and I'm excited for the direction of the senior women's national team. Who have you grown close with? Who are you tight with from your time with Canada basketball over the years? Who's you got some players, teammates that you love to get together with, and maybe somebody you didn't know that well until you started coming together for program stuff.
I mean, I've gotten to know like so many people, like especially
Right.
like ones that are like older than me, and Shay Colley, Kayla Alexander,
Yeah.
Sammy Hill. Like I've gotten to know like so many. Who I have a close relationship with, out of the very many, is probably Nia Becker.
Nice.
We talk about this all the time. We're the only two that are born in 2000 that have
Nice.
been at recent training camps. So, we call ourselves, we're the middle children of the pack. Like, there's like the older and then there's the younger and then there's just us two in the middle.
Okay.
So that's something that we talk about, and it's always good vibes when we get together. So
No, it's like I said, and the listeners know and guests know, like the women have done an amazing job joining us, and we truly appreciate that. So, um, Naya's come on, and shout out Naya, and you mentioned Shay and Kayla and Sammy joined us. So it just I know everyone's really close, and there's a wide range of like age groups that people come together to represent and sacrifice for the program. So I always enjoy asking that because I know relationships get formed, right? And um, the off the floor stuff is what you'll always remember the most. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, great job. Okay, who is Keishana's top five or favorite five for Canada basketball?
Men and women.
Whatever it can be, combo. You want to do five for men, five for women. It's your five. It's let's see what you got.
Am I excluding myself?
Well, listen, you could throw yourself in it because you can hoop. People have done it. They've said, "Hey, I'm gonna put myself in there because I want to run with these other people." So whatever you want, you're five. I'd be kind of disappointed if you didn't put yourself in it, to be honest. But
Um, yeah, I'll put myself,
nice,
Catherine Plouffe, Michelle Plouffe.
nice, legends.
Um,
Shout out Edmonton.
yeah, I'll go Natalie Achanwa
Yeah, of
and
course.
Kendra
Yeah,
Alexander.
yeah, great five, legends and all time. You know, all time hoopers for the program. I love it. Um, Natalie, man, like great career. Wound it down there last summer, and big shout out, man. She's done a big time thing for the program. Listen, any shout outs or thank yous before I get you out of here? I truly appreciate this. Um, Loved watching you, and looking forward to seeing what else you do in your career. Any shout outs?
I'll shout out Michelle Plouffe, recently retired.
Yeah,
Um, Phenomenal career. I've got to play with her a lot and learn from her from 3x3.
yeah,
So shout out to her on her retirement.
love it. That's a wrap on another episode of Canada Hoops. I want to thank Keishana Washington for pulling up. Thank you for listening. Remember to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Check out our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Instagram and X.com. Keep supporting Canada basketball and our Canadian Hoopers, and we will see you on the next episode.